All right, so let's look at these kind of little riddle puzzles here. These bring up dread in a lot of students. They remember just being super frustrated in school. Not everybody, but for some people. So I'm going to kind of take it slow in hopes that you won't have the same reaction to that. There are two ways to work these problems. There's one that's probably the more popular, so I'll start with that. And a lot of people remember this one. And that's to say, is over of equals percent over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100, and then you just fill in the missing spots. So what is what I'm looking for? So that's going to be the x. 40 is the percent. 100 is the 100 of 70. So 70 goes in the of spot. So that gives me a nice ratio, and I'm going to solve that. So I'm going to cross multiply. Everybody loves to cross multiply. So I'm going to cross multiply to solve for x. Get a little bit of space here. So x times 100 is 100x. 70 times 40 is 2,800. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 100. So I'm going to get x equals 28 as my answer. So this is the is over of method. It works every single time. Now I'm going to show you another method that's probably not as popular, but I actually like it. And it's to make a number sentence. So we know the answer is 28. It's not going to change. That's what the answer is for this problem. Then this time, instead of making a ratio, I'm going to write like an algebra sentence that we would have to solve. So 40% of 100. Of means to multiply, and is means the equal sign in my number sentence. So still having to do with those key words of is and of. So what is x is 40% of 70. So in this one, I don't honestly have as much work to do, but it was a little bit harder maybe to think about where to put the number sentence because you have to worry about that equal sign. That scares people. So I'm just going to type in 0.40 times 70. I type that in my calculator, and I get 28 again. So the answer works. So you've got two methods. You've got your is over of equals percent over 100, a ratio, or we can do our number sentence here. So let's try another one of these problems. This time we have 12 is what percent of 100. I'll do the is over of again to start with. So 12 is, I'm looking for the percent. It says what percent, so that's going to be x. Of is 48, and 100 is always 100. It never changes. I'm going to do my cross multiplying. So I get 1200 is equal to 48x. I'm going to divide both sides by 48. So x is going to give me 25, and I'm going to label this as percent because it said what percent. So just be careful in that. When it asks you for the percent, make sure you label it. This one I don't have to worry about because the percent was given to me. So be careful on that one. I'm going to do another number sentence for this one as well. Again, is equal sign, and of means multiplication. So 12 is what is my x? What percent of 48? Got to solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 48. When you do the number sentence, it's always set up to give you the decimal of the percent. So I'm going to type that in my calculator, and I get 0.25. And then, so I'm going to write that as 25% because I want to know what percent. So I'm going to write it as its percent. All right, why don't you pause the video and see if you can try C and D. either method, is over of or the number sentence. All right. So 25 is 20% of what number? So is over of, this time I don't know what the of is, it says what. Wherever what is my x, is 20% over 100. If I have my number sentence, it would look like 25 is equal sign, 20% of its multiplication, x. So either one. You either wrote your is over of, or you wrote your number sentence and you solve for that one. We would cross multiply, so you would get 2,500 is equal to 20x. Over here, you just have to divide both sides by 0.20. The 20 hundredths, 2/10, 20%, however you want to do that. And we get an answer of 125. So in either case, we get an answer of 125. I think D is the trickiest one. It's a percent problem again, so we've already seen one like that, but I'll show you what I mean by it being tricky as we get along. So 30 is what percent of 5? So I've got my ratio here. I'm going to cross multiply. So this is going to give me 3,000 is equal to 5x. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And I'm going to get 600. Well, we're not used to seeing a percent that big. Remember, it said what percent. So I need to write this as a percent. The answer is 600%. A lot of people want to change it to say 6%. They're not used to seeing something that big, especially if we use the number sentence. I like the number sentence, but this is the one place where it honestly is a little bit harder than the is over of. So 30 is equal sign, what is x of 5? 30 is what percent of 5? Solving for x, I'm going to divide by 5. Let's cancel out. So I get x equals 6. Well, it's really tempting to leave that as 6 or write the percent sign on it as 6%. But you have to remember, this was written in its decimal format. Just a minute ago when we did B, we got 0.25, and we wrote that as 25%. So we need to write this as 600%. Remember, we're multiplying by 100, or we can think about it as moving that decimal those 2 places. Moving the decimal the 2 places, so I have to add the 2 zeros there.